Hi, second grade. Today we're going to work on multiplication. We're going to work on making groups and using those groups to make multiplication problems. Today I will learn to skip count to find the total number of objects, to understand the relationship between repeated addition, counting groups in unit form, and multiplication sentences, to write multiplication sentences from equal groups. Lesson 1. Skip count to find the total number of objects. Let's look at the picture. How many raised arms do we have in all? Yes, we have 8. Now, how many 2's did we count to find the total? We counted 4 2's. So let's try skip counting to see. 2, 4, 6, 8. Again, 2, 4, 6, 8. We are skip counting by 2's. Now, if you look at it, the reason we're counting by 2's is because, as we stated, each child has 2 arms. So we need to find out how many arms we have all together. Let's problem solve. So we have 4 children, and each child has 2 arms. We could write this in a repeated addition form. A repeated addition form is adding, just adding. So let's add in repeated addition form. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals, what's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2? Yes, it's 8. Now we can also tell how many 2's we have. So when we look at this picture, we see there are 4 children. Each child has 2 arms. So we have 4 2's. We can also think of this as groups. How many groups do we have? Now when I say groups, it's people in this case. So how many groups or people do we have? We have 4. So we have 4 groups of 2, because each group or each child has 2 arms. So 4 groups of 2 is 8. We can check our answer by counting by 2's and see what we stop on when we hit 4. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So there are 8 arms. Lesson 2. Understand the relationship between repeated addition, counting groups in unit form, and multiplication sentences. So what I've done is I've taken a picture of 12 counters. They're cute, aren't they? With little googly eyes and feet. We have 12 counters. Now I want you to take your 12 counters and I want you to use your counters to make equal groups of 2. How many counters will you put in each group? So we need equal groups of 2. I'm telling you the answer. How many are going to be in each group? Yes, 2, because it's going to be equal groups of 2. Now, how many equal groups of 2 did you make? Now remember, we have 12 counters. How many equal groups of 2 can you make with those 12 counters? Yes, you can make 6 groups. If you were to draw a circle around groups of 2, now I don't want you to do this because you're looking at your computer or your tablet or your parent's cell phone, but if you were to use your imagination and circle equal groups of 2, that means you can only have 2 in each group, you would have 6 groups of 2. Now, let's problem solve. Now we're adding the multiplication side, guys. Now let's start with our repeated addition. How are we going to write an addition problem using these counters? Remember, we have 6 equal groups of 2. Well, very simply, we're going to say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 6, equals 12. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 12. Whew, that was a mouthful. Now, how many 2's do we have? Well, we would have, if you had imaginary circles around your groups of 2, you would have 6 2's or 6 groups of 2's. And of course, we know that that does equal 12. Now here comes the easy part. We did all of that repeated addition. We grouped up our little friends, our little furry friends. Now we can just simply make a multiplication problem. So let me ask you, how many groups of 2 did you have? Yes, you had 6. So we say 6 times, how many are in each group? Yes, 2. So 6 times 2 equals how many altogether? Yes, 12. Silent cheer, you guys did awesome. Get in there. Remember, multiplication, you can do repeated addition and multiplication. They really do work hand in hand. But let's face it, the larger the number gets, the more addition you do, it draws it out. It's so much easier just to multiply. And that's what we're working towards. Now let's look at lesson 3. Lesson 3 wants you to write multiplication sentences from equal groups. Now I've given you a picture here with 2 circles in it, and in each circle there are gray circles. Now I want you to look at these. Now normally we would have a partner we would work with, but you're just going to have to use mom or dad or brother or sister. But I would want you to explain to them, why are they equal groups? Look at them and tell me, why are they equal? Explain to your parents, your brother, your sister, your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt or uncle, whoever's there with you, why are they equal groups? If you said that there are 4 gray circles, the same size, they look to be the same size, in each large circle, you are correct. That's how we know they're equal groups. You have the same number of gray circles in each big circle. That makes it equal. But now I want you to explain by showing a repeated addition sentence and a multiplication sentence. So it's not just good enough that we know that they're equal. Now I want you to use that information, what you're seeing, to write a repeated addition sentence and a multiplication sentence. Problem solve. Are you ready? Okay, so how many gray circles are in the big circle? 4. How many groups do you have? How many circles? The circles are our groups, the big circles. How many groups? You have 2. So we're going to add 4 plus 4 equals, and it's going to tell us how many altogether we have. How many altogether we have? 8. And if you didn't know, you could count the gray circles, but I think you know 4 plus 4 is 8. Now we've done the repeated addition. Now we have to do the multiplication. This is the easy part. How many big circles do you have? How many groups? You have 2. Times, how many is in each group? 4. 2 times 4 equals how many altogether? 8. Now multiplication is like addition in that you can flip-flop your numbers that you are multiplying. We call those factors. You can flip-flop those factors. So you have 2 times 4 equals 8. You can also say 4 times 2 equals 8. You can flip-flop the factors. You cannot flip-flop the answer though. So again, how many groups do you have? 2. How many are in each group? 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. Or you could say, how many are in a group? 4. How many groups do you have? 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. Remember, you can flip-flop those factors. Great job, second grade. Now, I would like you to try a practice problem for me. Now on this practice problem, I've already filled it in for you, but this is the kind of things you're going to start seeing on your practice sheets. So we need to use what we learn and then apply it to the problems that we're given. So the problem says the picture below shows 4 groups of 2 slices of watermelon. Oh, that sounds yummy. Fill in the blanks to make true repeated addition and multiplication sentences that represent the picture. Okay, so you see there are 4 groups. The groups are circled. There's 4 groups. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in each group, you see there are 2 slices of watermelon. Count them. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, we have the picture. We understand there are 4 groups. We understand there are 2 slices in each group. Let's do our repeated addition first. All right, so very simple. How many's in a group? 2. So we're going to add 2. How many times? How many groups do you see? 4. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's 4 groups. Equals 8. We know that. So let's try it again. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8 altogether. Great job. Now we have to write a multiplication problem. Now, I didn't give you the flip-flop problem, so I'm going to ask you in a minute about that. But let's look at what we do have on the screen. How many groups do you have? Yes, 4. How many are in each group? 2. So 4 times 2 equals how many altogether? Good, 8. Now tell me that flip-flop problem. I challenge you to tell me, how can we change this? What is another way of saying 4 times 2 equals 8? Yes, that's right. You can flip-flop the factors. So we could say 2 times 4 equals 8. Same problem, just flip-flop those factors. Well, second grade, you did an amazing job on this. We are going to continue practicing multiplication from now through the end of the school year. Every week, I'm going to give you your Mrs. Beeller's or Mrs. B's Busy Bee assignments. They are optional, means you don't have to do them. I encourage you to do them because we want to be as prepared as we can be going into Mrs. Scariano's classroom in 3rd grade. So please, this is a time that we continue growing those brains because we want to be super smart and super ready when we come back in the fall. All right, guys, till next time, talk to you later.